of introducing to you for a State Officer Spotlight speech, your 2015-2016 State 4-H Secretary Treasurer, Cooper McAuley.
Whitburn tries about a 30-footer. No good step back. Lorenzo Charles. Space. Lorenzo Charles slams it in. The Cinderella team has done it. The Clash Clippers fifth. The Wolfpack has won the national championship.
Every child has a dream. You watch all these movies growing up about how a character wishes for something, and magically by the end of the movie, they have everything they want. As you grow up though, you realize that real life isn't like that, and it's full of trial and error. I found the best way to capture the dream is to stay focused and determined on what you want, while also surrounding yourself with amazing people. A great example of this is the 1983 NC State men's basketball team. Those who know the story know how truly great it is, and how a group of college students came together to capture a dream and a national title. Now, the players didn't always know they were destined for greatness, and like you at your age, we're just trying to figure out what their talents in life were. Not everyone in life is born great, but at some point, we'll have the opportunity to be great. Here in 4-H, we give youth the opportunity to find what they're great at and allow them to take it as far as they want. Now, on your journey of accomplishing your goal, you might want to set some smaller goals. Say, for instance, you want to get into this college, and it's really hard to get into. Maybe your smaller goal could be earning a certain score on your SAT. Now, a better example that us in 4-H can relate to, now that you've seen what happens at this Congress, how many of you would like to stand up on this stage and represent North Carolina as a State 4-H officer one day? That's a lot of hands. I know you all would do an outstanding job, but maybe your smaller goal could be going to your team retreat and running as a district officer. It's the necessary steps one has to take to put themselves into position of attaining their goal. Now, the road cannot always be the easiest, and it can get a little bumpy. Now, the 1983 team went through exactly this when their star player went out mid-season with an injury. Many said that was it for the team, and they wouldn't even make the tournament. They said the team should just give up and go ahead and work for next year. However, the team took the criticism, but came together and found a new way to play, and that's one of the reasons they'd go on to win the title. Now, some of us did presentations on Saturday, but let's say you messed up. You could have one of two responses. One, I give up. This isn't what I want to do. I'm just not going to come back next year. Or two, you could say, wow, that didn't go according to plan, but I can learn from this experience and come back next year stronger. The road isn't always the straightest, but it's the twists and turns that define you as a person, and they do nothing but help you grow and make you stronger. Now, you also have to be yourself and passionate about what you want to do. Now, those of you who know me know that my family's history runs deep in 4-H. I must admit, when I was young, the only reason I wanted to be a state officer was because I thought that's what my family did. I knew my family would always accept my decision, but I still felt the pressure to live up to the standard that those went before left behind. But as I got older, I realized that I shouldn't do this to please someone else. I needed to do this because this is what I'm passionate about, and I truly thought I could make 4-H better like it made me better. I knew me telling you to be yourself and passionate about what you do is kind of a cliche thing to say, and I thought the same about a month ago when I listened to this speech. But then the person hit me with this Dr. Seuss quote, "Today you are you, and that is truer than true. And there is no one alive who is youer than you." Now on your journey, you also have to have amazing role models. I truly believe the 1983 team would not have achieved what it did without Jim Valvano. Jim had the ability to take the kid from here to here in a matter of seconds. He put so much trust and faith in his players, and they would return it with victory on the court. I never want you to think you're alone in life, because all of you 4-Hers today came with either a 4-H agent or a 4-H volunteer. These people are older than you and have nothing but knowledge and experience to give. I have never met a 4-H agent who's not willing to go above and beyond for their 4-H'er, so never hesitate to ask them for help. Now, I personally have had so many role models in my life, and they have shaped me into the man I am today. So if you have any problems with that, talk to them. They're not me. They're right there. But my journey in 4-H started with some of those twists and turns. For the first many years, I didn't even have a 4-H agent. But luckily, I had those amazing 4-H volunteers, like Miss Nancy Furr, who would drive me to my first several 4-H events. The first agents I really even came into contact with were Miss Chrissy Haynes and April Dillon, who were my district officer advisors. I can still come to them today if I need any help or if I just want to talk. But luckily, my county now has an amazing agent who just so happened to be my 8th grade math teacher. So yeah, I had a great vibe going into that. But Miss Tracy was amazing helping me with my campaign last year. She even made me my favorite meal, mac and cheese, before I did my skit. Man, it's getting a little hard. But now, there's also 2 young ladies in the audience tonight who have dealt with me the last 4 years of high school. These are the ones that kept me motivated with my grades and also served as a stress reliever with all the crazy conversations we have. I think of Miss Phipps as a second mom, Miss Earhart as the older sister I never had. I certainly hope they don't think they're rid of me just because I graduated high school. They're going to be great at reading college papers. No. My family, again, has always been supportive of me, but there are way too many people to list. I would first like to thank all of my cousins whose 4-H career I've got to be a part of or watch. Thank you, Caitlin, Brian, Brandon, and Daniel, for keeping me motivated this year as a state officer. Y'all are the reason I'm able to stand up on this stage. Now, another reason I'm allowed to stand up on this stage and talk to y'all today is from the work all of my grandparents would do when it came to presentations. Now, when summer rolled around, that means presentation season was on point. And my hours would be spent in my mama's kitchen going over and over my presentation. I would coin the term Mama Boot Camp, and there were a lot of tears shed. Luckily, I would have my best friend Pawpaw, who would save me from Mama after she tried to make me redo my presentation for the 51st time before lunch. I would also like to thank my 2 favorite aunts, Aunt Shay and Aunt Joan, who were always a phone call away when I needed a sounding board, words of encouragement, or a swift kick in the right direction. No one has had a bigger impact in my life, however, than my parents and my little sister Anna, and I would like to ask them to step up on stage with me. A little faster than that. All right, y'all can listen to me as you walk, but Dad, you have always been my hero. And I cannot look at y'all. So, you've always been my hero, and I've always wanted to grow up to be exactly like you. You served North Carolina 4-H as a state officer. Yeah, that's 4-H back then, right? You served North Carolina as a state officer like I do today, and you also went to the greatest university in the world, NC State, and I'll start there as a freshman in the fall. Now, just because I didn't respect my mom's choice in schools, Chapel Hill, doesn't mean she played a lesser of a role in my life. My mom has taught me so many life lessons, and also stayed up late into the night with all my projects. We did like to argue though, but I truly think that's because we're the same person at heart, and there's not another person in the world I'd rather be like. Now, when my parents were getting a little strict for me, I always had my little sister Anna to turn to. 9 years ago, our family became complete when we brought you home from Guatemala. You were truly God sent for me and the rest of the family. Some say we have a little too much in common, and I'll let you decide if you want to take that as a compliment or insult. But you have turned into such a beautiful young lady, and I only hope and I see that the future is bright for you. I would like to present this plaque to y'all on behalf of myself and the rest of North Carolina 4-H, thanking you for the support throughout my life, and also especially this year. So there y'all go. It's pretty, ain't it? All right, y'all can go. This is my time. All right. There's two things I'd like to leave y'all with today. One, to always surround yourself with great people. This year's state officer team has easily been the best team I've been a part of. Thank you, Luke, for dealing with my snoring as a roommate this year. Killian, with all your crazy stories about your dog. Grace, for entertaining us with your singing. And also, sewing on my button about 2 minutes ago backstage when it fell off and I had a mini panic attack. Y'all meant so much to me this year, and I could not ask for a better officer team. Thank you to the North Carolina State 4-H staff who have made this year possible. Y'all do not get enough credit for the work you do. The second thing I'd like to leave y'all with is to never give up on your dream. As long as you stay focused and determined on what you want, anything in life is possible. So in the great words of Jim Valvano, never give up, don't ever give up.
Oh, Cooper, how do we know you would have something about NC State in your speech? Your love for Wolfpack and scented bath bombs have been consistent this year. And you made sure we all knew just what to do, how to act, or what to say to fit in at any NC State event. You made us laugh, kept up with what we're supposed to be doing, and have completed our team. I'm glad we're going to be at NC State together next year. It's always good to have a close friend goodbye. And thanks for following the dress code this week. North Carolina 4-Hers, your 2015-2016 State 4-H Council Secretary Treasurer, Cooper McAuley.